Hey Noah Baksho, Toiv Loch, my dear friends. Erev Shabbos, Toildois, let's give some tzedakah. Just a beautiful thought from the Balaturim who says that Yipol HaNefel, when Yishmael will fall, after this will be Toildois Yitzchak, the descendants of Yitzchak, and it says this goes about Mashiach, will be revealed. So Eibishter, time for Yishmael to fall, and time obviously for Mashiach to reveal himself. While we're in this difficult moment, constantly hear of, unfortunately, another hostage being killed, another soldier being killed, another wounded, and we can start becoming desperate. So it's good to hear some miraculous events which are happening right now, which basically tell us we don't understand anything, why this one is losing their life and this one is miraculously being saved his life. So we just have to go on with our full emunah and betochen, faith and trust in Hashem, while doing what we have to. That means the soldiers in Israel physically annihilating the evil, and us over here bringing more light to dispel all the darkness. So here are those stories that I heard. You might have heard it too, because it's circulating on the internal social network, but it's worth repeating. This young woman who shares with a colleague at work, and she says, I just got a phone call from my brother who is in the depth of the war, in the tunnels, out of the tunnels, this house, that house, and he just called her to say, I just saw an angel. ראיתי malach. את יודעת שאני לא כל כך דתי, I'm not that religious, and I don't get involved in spiritualities, etc. But I just saw an angel, and he said the following happened. That they're going to check out a house. So the commander, as is the habit in the Israeli army, Acharai, follow me. The commander went into the house, and 5-6 soldiers are waiting outside to be told, come in or not, the backup. But it took longer than expected, and they lost contact with the commander. So they figured they got to go inside and see what's happening. As they're trying to go inside, he says suddenly they see a holy man, white beard, standing there and tell him, Al tikansu, don't come in, because if you're going to come in, there will be too many widows and orphans, God forbid. So we told them, look, we have to go in because our commander is there and we lost contact. Don't go in. Anyway, he says they tried to push him aside, and they didn't really push him, they just went through him. They found the commander, everything was fine, and then suddenly this holy vision, tzaddik, as he says, reappeared. It says, get out immediately. Somehow they heeded his call, his advice, and he went out. Less than 20 seconds later, the entire house blew up. And he says, I don't know who it was, but that was an angel who saved his life. It saved our lives. Another story, somebody walking into the planning of many commanders in Gaza somewhere, and he sees they look terrible, and he asked what's happening. He says, look at the image. 3 tanks, each tank is transporting 12 soldiers, and they had direct hit by a drone, and all 3 of them burning. He says, Rahman al-Islam, and they see it on their screens, and they say, this is 36 soldiers. What a terrible loss, and obviously they're devastated. And as they're sitting there in total loss, suddenly they get a phone call from one of the soldiers. And he's reporting to the base, and he's saying, look, I want you to know what happened. I was in the first tank. We were 3 tanks following each other. I was in the first one, and suddenly our track, whatever you call it, the tires, got stuck, and we couldn't move forward. So we decided to jump out of this tank so as not to become sitting ducks and find some hiding somewhere to protect ourselves. Now it turns out that the tank behind them saw that they are jumping out from their tanks. They figured something is wrong. They jumped out too. And so did the following 12 soldiers of the third tank. And all this happened seconds before all 3 tanks went up in flames. And Baruch Hashem, all 36 soldiers were saved. Miracles, miracles, no question about it. So we ask Yebishter, why do you make so many little miracles? Make already the one big miracle. Bring us the Geula, and we will celebrate this Shabbos with all those holy soldiers. Those are alive and those are going to come back. The hostages, etc. All of Klal Yisrael. Together, this wonderful Shabbos. Shabbos Toldos, the birth of Moshiach.